Hi gamers, today we say goodbye to an anime game. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, is now shut down its online services. They shut down this past Monday and they did it ahead of schedule. I had a stream planned, I wanted to play the game until I was kicked out of it. I wanted to see the game's life leave its eyes. But when I logged in, the services were already gone. And I didn't notice for 3 hours. You can still log into the online lobby, it works just the same. I can still play online, I can still buy DLC, and I didn't see any other players running around because the game is dead. And of course, matchmaking already took forever, so I didn't notice much of a difference between them shutting down and not. According to Steam charts, a total of 7 people were playing the game when it shut down. So I looked into it and all the game lost was ranked matches, which were probably pretty hard to find nowadays anyway. And you can't see anyone in the lobby anymore, but it's not like there was anyone to see before. No one was playing this game at this point. But today I want to look at what the game did right, because I do think there are things that the development team can be proud of, and also what mistakes were made that led to killing a game's services exactly 2 years after release. I look back at this game with a lot of fondness, which may be weird for you to hear because the game was universally accepted as trash. And I agree, but what made me really happy about the way this came out was the fandom. No one fell for it this time, which is so rare in anime games. We are so passionate about the characters in the cover that we tend to overlook a lot of the game's flaws. We don't see the cash grab, all we see is our love for the characters and the show. And with this game, that didn't happen, which made me so happy. Especially since this came out 1 year after Jump Force, which a lot of people fell for. Jump Force sold like crazy, which means we'll most likely get a sequel, and that's the unfortunate result that happens more often than not. One Punch Man, however, you'd have to be crazy to greenlight a sequel after it has done so poorly. But in every game, there's always a passionate development team that's doing their best to put out something good. So here is my appreciation for One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. The things that, in my opinion, the team can be happy and proud to have achieved. First, the most unique thing about this game as an arena fighter, the One Punch gimmick. They actually made Saitama the One Punch Man in-game as he defeats everyone with a single punch, if you can buy enough time for him to reach the stage. This is funny, and I think it will always be funny. Balanced? No. They try to balance with a timer and everything, but the game's balance issues have nothing to do with Saitama. He is just the cherry on top of the pizza. Good on you for figuring out how to bring this overpowered character and put him in the hands of players. Being Saitama is boring. The whole concept of the character is that he is too strong, he cannot find a challenge anywhere, so he's bored all day every day. To make someone like him funny to play, that is certainly an achievement. There's also a lot in this game's design that I really like. I love the HUD in battle. I think it looks clean and stylish, especially since you can create your own character, and having them show up in the portrait in a way that seems really professionally done is awesome. I like the stage design, and even the graphics don't look bad at all. The animations aren't great, which doesn't help the overall look of the game, but the models themselves, they're pretty awesome. And of course, the best thing to come out of this game was the character creation. The customization in this game is one of the best I've ever seen. It gives you so much freedom because it embraces the dumb design that a lot of heroes and villains of the show have. And that's not only awesome for you as a player to create your own character, which you can modify as many times as you want, but it's also great for enemy variety, as they've done a ton of unique designs to use as enemies during missions, and they're usually pretty funny. Finally, the soundtrack. Just to end this moment of One Punch Man appreciation, I think the soundtrack has some really awesome songs, if you listen to them in a vacuum. It's like someone was hired to make the soundtrack and did a really awesome job, but whoever was in charge of implementing the songs into the game did one of the worst jobs I've ever seen. Every time you pause, you change environment, or talk to someone, there's a hard cut from one song to the next that is extremely jarring. For example, this is the HQ soundtrack, but when I talk to the missions lady, I like both of these songs and this transition wasn't the worst, but what happens now as I am talking to the mission lady and back out from this menu back into HQ? That's not an okay transition, is it? Same thing happens when you talk to the Versus lady, just with a different song. This is a constant while playing this game. I think this is a really odd choice. And some of these songs perhaps sound a bit too close to some other songs from some other game. For instance, this is the track that plays whenever you awaken in battle. And I'm gonna put it side by side to something you can find in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Am I imagining things, or is that suspiciously close? This game's got a lot of good audio, but a lot of bad finishing touches. That's how I would put it. For instance, I think the voice work and sound effects are great, but the mixing is awful. A lot of the audio is just peaking all the time. Psychic Throw is an ability in game, and the sound effect just clips, always, regardless of volume. This also happens a lot with voice lines. I'm a fan of this one in particular. And that's how it sounds in game. We did not boost anything in editing. If anything, we lowered the volume so we wouldn't blow up your ears. But anyway, all that stuff is still around. The only things they shut down were ranked matches and seeing other people walk around in the lobbies. I went to check out if the DLC was still up for sale or if they got rid of it all like they did with Jump Force, and everything is still available, including the One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 Whole Cake Island pack. For some reason, this One Piece DLC is listed as a One Punch Man DLC, and it's not just a crazy mistake on the listing on the PSN store, it gets way crazier than that. You see, I didn't buy One Punch Man, I got a code sent to me by Bandai Namco, which is why I gave this game an A rank when I reviewed it, because the code makes me so biased. Bandai Namco didn't just send me a code for One Punch Man, they sent me the deluxe edition. So all this DLC is free for me, including the One Piece DLC. I downloaded it and I had to double check it. There they are. The 3 DLC characters are actually in my Pirate Warriors 4 without me ever buying them. But it gets even crazier. I was streaming this while chatting with a few of my friends on Discord, and one of them already bought One Punch Man before, but didn't buy One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. He bought this DLC, which is wrongly listed, and now he can play One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 even though he never purchased the game. He basically got a full game plus DLC at the price of DLC. Maybe One Punch Man isn't so bad at all. That's a lot of value. Now, before you go and try to do it yourself, this only seems to work in the North American PSN store, and I have no idea of when or if it will be fixed. So if this trick doesn't work for you, I am not being held responsible. Do not buy One Punch Man if you want to get Pirate Warriors, especially since you'd be sending the wrong message. You're buying One Punch Man. If you do that, they might think you want more of it. But how did it all go so wrong? How come both the people who enjoy Jump Force as well as the people with common sense do not enjoy One Punch Man? I think it comes down to the combat system. It's as simple as that. The story isn't great, it's repetitive, there's barely any fan service as far as flashy cutscenes and that kind of stuff goes, but plenty of anime games have a terrible story and still manage to be loved by a large community. It was definitely the combat system with this one. Every move you do has a huge recovery, which makes the whole game feel very clunky. You want your characters to feel agile and snappy, but even the most agile characters were encumbered by big recovery on their moves. Every time you knock down an enemy or they knock you down, it takes you ages to get back up for no reason whatsoever, and this isn't fun for anyone. And at the end of the day, it's more of an RPG than an arena fighter, because you're meant to use your created character who has actual stats that you invest in as you level up, because frame data, damage values, none of it makes any sense. Which is something that this developer, Spike Chunsoft, does quite often when it comes to arena fighters. I've said a lot of bad stuff about Spike Chunsoft in the past. I want to be very clear that they actually make very good games. They just don't make any good arena fighters. They usually create these big roster of characters at the cost of balancing or a good fighting system, and hide under the excuse that this is not a competitive game, it's just a fun casual game. And a lot of fans actually buy into that mindset. But the game had a ranked system, and being a casual game does not excuse for terrible balance. Because even as a casual player, you will be running into whatever character's broken online all the freaking time, because newsflash, players like winning, even if it is a fun casual game. Also, the game has perfect guards, which is another common Spike Chunsoft mechanic. Someone does something dumb, they get punished, but because they mash the block button after getting hit, they're gonna teleport behind the opponent. This mechanic sucks, it has always sucked, but they keep putting it in their multiplayer games. Anyway, I think that's why the game failed and why it got shut down only 2 years after the initial release. You can still play most of it, and if you're a trophy whore, I think the platinum is still available, as none of it requires you to play online as far as I remember. I can't believe that I'm only 1 trophy away from my platinum, and I'm probably not getting it, because the last trophy I need is to reach character level 99, and I don't know if I have the willpower to do it. That's a lot of grinding. But hopefully they learned from this. I think you guys as fans have taught them a valuable lesson, which is to make more Jump Force. But how will you remember One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows? To me, when I think of that game, the first thing that pops into my mind is the wonderful character creation. So maybe I have a tendency to remember the positives a bit more, but what about you? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku and I'll see you next time. Bye!